So I stayed here last night at the Darlington Shelter. It was raining, thunderstorm, so I slept up there on the top bunk for the first time using my Thermarest Z-Pad. I got some sleep, but it wasn't the most comfortable. They have a food box. There's some campsites over there. There's another one over there. The privy's back there with the water source. And the water source is questionable here as whether it's running. It was running this time. And we'll go check out this privy. This privy is called the Taj Mahal. It has a weighted door. And then, of course, hardwood seats, sawdust to throw in it. It's almost as big as the shelter is. So, at least we've had a nice downhill since we left the shelter. It's about 11 o'clock. I got a late start this morning. It's like 10:45. It was kind of cool when I got up, so I didn't want to get up. But that's alright. The plan is to do a 10-mile day and get into Duncannon, Pennsylvania. I have a couple of items I want to mail back home. It's a hooded Under Armour shirt I brought for hiking and cooler weather. But I think when it gets cooler, my long sleeve hiking shirt and my rain jacket would be sufficient while hiking if I needed it. I may be sending the muscle roller home. I just find I'm really not using it, not needing to use it. I'm kind of up in the air on that. I may hang on to it, I don't know. The little aluminum wood stove that's in my cook kit, I'm going to send that home. I'm just using it for lay my spoon across while I'm cooking, and I can lay it across a bandana or something. It doesn't appear I'm going to have any problems getting fuel, so I don't think I'm going to run out and need that, and I can always come up with something. And that's really about it. I'm finally down on the food. I got like 2 dinners and 2 lunches and a little bit of candy. I don't have any more breakfasts. I put, instead of a half a cup for each pouch of oatmeal this morning, I put a cup. So I ended up eating 3 pouches of oatmeal instead of 2. It was a bit much, but I got it down. And I finished off all my cappuccino. So, without any food, the pack feels great. Had mashed potatoes, pouch mashed potatoes, and the last of my bacon bits last night for dinner. So, when we get to town, the next town I'm going to walk through is Port Clinton, I believe. So that's where I'm going to plan on resupplying. I just don't want to have to deal with trying to find a shuttle to get to town and then get back and all that. So I'm pretty much sticking with towns I can walk through. A little bit better planning my first resupply would have been Boiling Springs, and then I would have only had to have bought enough for like 2 days. But you learn. It's just part of the process. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Duncannon, Pennsylvania. We'll see if we can make that happen. I'm pretty sure we can. I'll probably stay at the Doyle there. I thought about doing the campground. It's just $5 and it has a shower, but it's right on the railroad tracks. I don't think I would care. The train probably wouldn't bother me. And sleep through a hurricane, so. But we'll just see. I try not to overthink it too much. So this is the Footbridge stream at 1142.2. The footbridge is right over there. I stopped here to have lunch. Like a little camp spot. Just sat there on the log and had some tuna wraps with salt and pepper. I ran out of cheese and tartar sauce yesterday, so I'm almost out of food. I got like another 2, maybe 3 days worth at the most of mismatched stuff. So when I get to Duncannon here in a little while, either this afternoon or in the morning, still haven't decided. I'll get my resupply and be good to go. I can tell you the pack sure does feel nice with no food in it hardly though. It's amazing how heavy food is. Alright. Here's another camp spot right there. That is the cool thing about PA. There's a lot of camp spots that are not listed in the guidebook. They may be on gut hooks, but they're not in the AWOL guide or the AT guide. So it's about 2:30. I've still got a couple miles to get to the shelter. So I got food for tonight. I may just stay at the shelter. We got that really rocky section. We'll see how that goes. Pipeline provided some pretty nice view. So it says the trail is pretty rocky all the way from here to Duncannon, just before you get to Duncannon. But at least the elevation profile is fairly flat. So we'll see how rocky this goes. It's not too bad at the moment, The rocky hasn't been too bad. It's almost like when you're walking on rocks, when you're mountain biking, you have to pick the line out up ahead, and then your body tends to react due to visual memory. So like you're not staring at what your tires are going over, you're looking at where you're going to go in a couple of seconds. The same way with the rock, because the rocks are unstable, well, some of them, so as soon as you step on it, it moves. But if you have the other rock already picked out, then it's basically like you touch the rock, and by the time the rock moves, you've already moved on to the next rock. So it makes you less likely, I hope, to fall down. Or at least that's the way I've done it for quite some time, and it's worked out so far. I haven't face planted into a rock yet. Knock on wood. I don't want to. So the trail's been about like this for, I don't know, the last 20 minutes or so. If I was wearing regular shoes, my toes would be screaming by now, just from the shoe moving all over. The breeze sure is nice, and the break from the rocks. This is a kind of a cool campsite. It's directly across from the shelter there. So I've decided I'm going to go on 4 miles. It's mostly going to be downhill to town and stay in the Doyle, which is known for not being the best accommodation, but it's cheap, and sometimes people's expectations are way higher than the price. You kind of have to let the price set your expectations. So, all I need is a shower, and a place to store my gear and sleep, and get a resupply, and it should work. So just crawled over that tree and then come down those rock steps. We got some more rock steps. Then we'll be at the highway. Then we'll be in town. The infamous Doyle Hotel. It's kind of cool place. It's old, but that's all good. This is where we're staying until in the morning.